Hi guys, today we're going to be doing the configuration management task, and configuration management is just a way for you to automate your task on several servers. For example, if you have 10 servers that you're managing and you need to install a couple of things on it, like same thing, um, you would need to log in into each server and then do them one after the other. But with configuration management, you can set it in a way that allows you to write a piece of code and then you can just run it on each server. And for example, if you need to run like 100 things, 100 program, you need to install them on each of your server. Probably you have 1000 servers that you're managing. With configuration management, you can just write a piece of code which you can then deploy on these servers automatically, and it saves you a lot of time, stress, and even errors. Okay, so it's needed because you'll be going into server management and configuration, and you will need to write some codes that you can deploy on these servers that you'll be writing. So there are 3 or 4 different type of tools we use in configuration management. We have Puppet, Ansible, Chef, and Salt. Those 4 are very popular. There might be others. You can check up on them. But for this, ALX will be allowing us to use the Puppet, because each and everyone have their own strengths and weaknesses. For Puppet, you need to install Puppet on each nodes in which you would be running your Puppet code on. Okay, so just go through this. It's a very short story about how this person used Puppet, or Ansible rather, and yeah. So intro to configuration management, Puppet configuration file, how to use Puppet to write, how to write a structured Puppet, and then we have this Puppet lint, which is the coding style for Puppet, like the you have to write it in a particular style. In ALX we have this style we use, and then Puppet Emacs mode will just give you some shortcut with Emacs that works with Puppet. Okay, and then we have some of them here, so that would be, I've opened it here, and that would be handy for anyone that loves Emacs. But I know that 90% of ALX students uses Vim, and yeah, I use Vim and Emacs though. But yeah, so let's see. So I think that would be all. I haven't done videos in a while now, but hopefully I would try my best to push out as much as I can. So if you haven't seen any video, just drop a comment. Probably that would ginger me to kind of make a video on it. So we are way behind, and let's just get started. So the first thing you want to do is to install Puppet on your like Ubuntu, for example, which I have my Ubuntu here. So I want to install Puppet on it, and then say you don't need to attempt to upgrade the version. So if you have one before, you don't need to upgrade it. The project is simply a set of tasks to familiarize you. So this one is just for you to know a bit about Puppet and how it works. So Puppet is just like a piece of code that help you to install. Like for example, I can just say I want to install what programs do we install. Let's say I want to install Pip, I want to install Flax, I want to install any program, Python, right? I want to install Python on my system, so I can write it in a file and then execute that file on all my servers, right? And it's going to install everything on those servers, right? So that's just what Puppet is all about. And then so the first thing is, let's install this. I don't know if I have apt-get installed already, but any errors I get, we'll fix that. All right, so I'll copy this and open my Ubuntu, and then okay, I cleared my screen and I paste it and I press down. So I think this is okay, Ruby was not found, right? So apt get install. So I want to try and restore. I think we are correct. I don't know, let's see. Ruby, okay, they even installed it here. I wanted to do this. So it's already there. I think we're still on the right track. So I wanted to say apt-get install -y ruby. I think this is still the old one we had there. We didn't copy, I guess. Ruby, let me just recopy it. Okay, so I think it's copied now. Juju and paste it. Okay, so I think we're getting Ruby installed. So the -y is just to say yes. It's going to be like if it prompts us to say yes or no, it's going to automatically say yes to that prompt. Okay, so we don't need to be pressing Y while it's installing. So yeah. So while that is installing, let's go and get the next one. So we have to install Ruby Shadow as well, and then once we install these two guys, then we install Puppet. So let's wait while that is installing. So I don't know if it's fully installed, but for simplicity, let me just send my screen. Yes, split my screen and send this guy to this side. Oh, sorry. I think it's better for it to be here, and this one should be here. Okay. Yeah. What's going on? Where is it? You're not done installing that guy. You come here, please. What's going on? I'm trying to send it. Anyway, let's check it. Still installing. Let's check this. I'm trying to send this to this side, but it's not going. It's not moving. What's going on? Is my plan not working? Okay, let's send this here. Okay, it's better now. So come here. Alright, so I think we're good. So let me go back to where the installation is. So we are this. So we haven't installed Ruby Shadow. So I don't know if we are done installing this. Okay, we are not done. I entered L there. So it's still installing. So I think this is taking a lot of time. Let's just wait. We don't have choice. You can forward this video. You can forward the installation process just to save your time. I want to make this video as short as possible, but I think the installation, I should have installed it before starting the video. Anyway. Let me just press L to see if it's still installing. I think it is. I think it's still installing. What's going on? Are you done or not? Okay, I think we're done. So let me clear the screen and install the second one, which is Shadow, right? And then press enter. So I think we're almost done with that. So let's get the Puppet installation code ready. Okay, we're done with that, and then let's install Puppets now. So while installing Puppets, I think that shouldn't take too much of the time. Okay, that's installing, and then we need to install Puppet Lint. Puppet Lint is the Puppet's writing style. So we need to install it as well. So we get that. So that's taking that time. Okay, it's still installing. I think Puppet is very robust, so it's taking its time to set up. Unpacking, selecting, preparing. Still gonna have unpacking as well. Yes. Let's just see what it is. Realistic person. Okay, I think we're done. And then let's clear the screen, and then let's install the last one, which is Puppet Lint. Okay, and I think we're done. So now that we've installed Puppet on our system, let's get ready to the task. So the first task, we're going to create a directory and call this configuration management, and we'll seed into that directory. And then remember, we have to create a readme file. Okay, so we have that, and then create the file. So we could just use vi directly. And do I have the okay? Vi comes with most, what's it called, Ubuntu setup, so I would have it installed. So using Puppet, create a file. So the first thing is all your code should end with a new line, a readme file. Your Puppet manifest must pass this Puppet lint, which we later installed. Your Puppet manifest must run without error. Your Puppet manifest first line must be a comment, so we have to make this on a comment. So must end with .pp. Okay, so I think the file name ended .pp anyway. So the first line would be the comment, right? So this one ends with .pp. So we should just say comment, and then say using create a file, creating a file in /tmp using Puppet. So for example, I need to create a file in /tmp folder in my root. That's the tmp folder in my root. and on different servers, right? So I can use Puppet. And what I need to do is, the first thing we need in Puppet is the resource type. So because we are creating a file, so I think the first guy resource attribute will be file, okay, and then the location would be, we could have a path. Since we have a path, then we can say file, right, and then space, then we'll open bracket, right, open these curly braces. So we have these quotes, and then this one will just be a name. And what do we want to do? So we can just give it any name. For example, we could also just specify the path here, but since we are giving file parties, we could just say slash tmp slash school here as a file path, right? And we don't need to specify path inside the attribute and value. So for Puppet would have a resource type here, and then we'll have a name, and inside the curly braces then we'll have attributes and value, attribute and value, and close brackets. So for now, let's just give this one a name, and I will say crypto tech coder. So that's our name on YouTube, and then we'll come with a colon, right? And then we'll enter, and then a space. I think this space is too much for Puppet length. I think it's just I think that should be 2 spaces should be enough. So we have the path, which is the attribute I was talking about, and then we have this, and then we have this. But for it, because we would have some other guys, and then they might be longer than this, so I'll just put a tab here and put one more tab. No, this is too much. So since that's too much, 1 2 3 4 5. So then I'll put a space, then I'll put the value. So what is the path? Slash tmp slash school. And then once you're done, don't forget to add a comma to it, and then 2 space, and then the file permission is, so permission will be mode, right? Mode, and mode will be what? So that's to align with the previous one, and then I'll call it 0744 0744. So that will be the mode of the file that we are adding to that folder. So comma, and then we'll have what else? We'll have a file owner, which is the owner. So all these owner and all this stuff, you can get them in the what's it called, in the Puppet what's that called, stuff called websites, on the Puppet website, let's just call it that way. So the next thing is group. So sorry, owner, right? We haven't done owner. So owner is www.data. That's the owner. Put a comma, and then 2 space, and then we have the group 1 2 3 4, and then we call that one w data as well. Put a comma, and then file contains, so the content will now be I love Puppets, right? Just for me not to mix the capital letter and small letter together, let me just copy this guy and paste it here. So you can add comma here, and you could leave it as well, but it's best to always add comma to it, just in case in future you want to add more lines to it. And with this, I think we are almost done. So what I will do next is, let me list, and then I'll change the mode to this to be executable. I don't think it's necessary, but anyway, I've done that already. So the next thing I'm going to do is Puppet length and the file name. So we should not get an error. So it says that is not properly aligned, you can see, and it said expected in :11 but found in :12 of, so indentation of this dash. So I have these errors, so I have to go and see what is going on. arrow alignment. So the arrow alignment is not properly aligned. So I will go back to my file and align the arrows. So what is wrong? So let me step it back a bit. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so let's try this, or let's give it one more space here. One more space, one more space, one more space, one more space. Let's see if it's gonna so Puppet 0, a tab not found on line 6, found, okay, tab found in line 6. So we check it again, and 1 2 3 4 5 6. So there's a tab found here. Where's the tab? Where's the tab? I can't figure that out. So I think we're good. So Puppet links again 0, and we didn't get any error, so we're good. So what we do is then git add everything, because we haven't pushed the readme as well, and then we git commit and say the first Puppet code, and then we push it. So we push this. So I think it pushed successfully. So let's check our code to see if we're right. So let's check. So it worked, and then we'll go to the next one. So now using Puppet, install Flask from PIP3. Requirement: install Flask, the version should be this. Notice I'm trying to see what, so we have to install. If you look at it, Flask need Python Flask and this Wexzero 2.1.1 to work, right? So you need those 3 things to install. So what we do is we'll copy this guy, and then clear the screen, and then we'll create the file. So I'll say install Flask with Puppet. Okay, so we've written that, and then wait, are we installing Flask? Yes, we're installing Flask. So install Flask with Puppet. So the next thing I'm going to do is I would say, because it's a package, it's not a file, so we're installing a package. So I'll say the resource type is package. Then I would my braces, and then I can then say, for me to install it, I need to install Python, and then Flask, and then Wexzero, right? So I need to install Python 3.8.1. so I'll say I want to install Python 3.8, right? So that's just the name, and then I'll come down, wait, put your double colon here, come down 2 spaces, and then I would say ensure that the version you install 3 spaces is 3.8.10, and then our comma, and then we would say it should what else, and then the provider, that's what are we going to use to install it. You should, instead of apt-get, you should use pip to install it. So you can say the provider should be pip, and then we'll put a comma here, or pip3 rather, pip3, and then so we're done installing Python 3. So we can do that for Flask as well. So package and then we say we want to install Flask, right? And then and then we'll say you should ensure that the version of Flask is 2.1.0. so say this should be 2.1.0. okay, and then we'll add a comma to it, and then and the provider also should be pip3. Provider also should be, let's align this, so it should be pip3 or pip3 and comma, and that will be all for this as well. And then the last thing we need to install is, so we'll say a package. So we need to install work zero. Sorry for my pronunciation, work zero, right? So put a colon here and then 2 spaces, and then I'll say you should ensure that the version is 2.1.1. we put a comma, and then the provider also should be pip3, and then we'll have one more for this one, and it requires it requires a package before it can be installed, so it will make sure that Flask is installed, because Puppet will not go sequentially, right? We could install this and come to this, but for us to make sure Flask is installed first, then this one is like a dependency, so put it, and then we'll say install that package called the name Flask is installed. So let me change this one to capital letter. Yep, so I think that should do. And yeah, I think this Python is capital letter, but I'm not sure. I think the small letter too should work. So I think with this we are good, and then let's add comma to this place because of next time, and then let's add this. So we have to, let me change the mode of this, and then let's say puppet dash lint 1, and then it says we're good, right? So we'll git add that one and say git commit and say install Flask, and then we push it. So push it, and then we check our code to see if it's working. So we've disconnected. Let me reconnect to the server, to my network rather, server. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. Like it's connected, but it says no internet, and there's internet. So I have to disconnect and reconnect. That's just the problem. So if you have any solutions to that, I haven't had time to check what's really going on. I think it's the mobile phone that I'm using to connect. Anyway, so it's still on. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry for this. You can always forward this part. While that one is wasting our time, let's just go and see this. Okay, so the last one, it says using Puppet create a manifest that queues a process named queue me now. So there's a process named queue me now. We have to create a Puppet that queues that process. So we'll use pq. You must use the exec. So exec resource is for executing a command. Okay, so that makes it even easier for us, right? So we'll use exec to execute the command, and then let me git push that the previous one just to check. So we'll use that. So we've pushed it, and then let's check this, and then so I will just come here, and hopefully that one works. And I'll vi what's the name of the file? Let's just wait and see. Is this one still loading? Still loading, so we won't waste our time. And we copy this to execute a command. So vi this, and then we'll go back to this one to check. So it doesn't check. Let's see if we have any errors yet. Nothing yet. So we'll say this there should be a comment: execute a command with Puppet. So it has worked. So we'll use the exec, and then we'll open this, and then what do we want to execute? We want to execute a command, and that command is what? PQ. That's what we're told to use. And then we'll use the -F. The -F help us to say, okay, we want PQ to kill anything that has, probably we can then specify a string in front. So anything that has kill me now. So let me just copy this kill me now because of any capital letter or small letter issue. Oh, PQ, I think -F. Let me just type it. Kill me now. Not me. Anyway. So we'll have that, and then we'll close this. So PQ will kill anything that any strings in the command line that has the word kill me now. And then what attributes are we giving it, and what value are we giving to it? So we can just say the path to that file will be where. Are we giving any path? So using Puppet, create a command that kills a process. This must use the exec Puppet example terminal starting kill me now. So let's see, cat kill me now. So while true, I'm trying to see what's going on. So this is the while true, do sleep to that thing. Okay, basically I think that's it, but the path should be, I think the path should then be let me just use two space there, comma, and then we're done. So we just need to specify a path, and I think those we should have it in the user binary, and then /user local. So we can have it in user bin or user local bin, or bin itself. So it should check all this folder to kill any process that is running in these places. So I think that should be it, and we can close it. So chmod 7552, and then git Puppet lint 2. So do we have any errors? No errors. And then git add to git commit it and say kill a process git push. So we'll do that, and then we'll check our code if we haven't disconnected. We have disconnected again. So I don't know why it keeps disconnecting anyway, but it's still connected though. So I don't know what's wrong. So just click on this and hopefully connect back, and then let me go here and get ready. So we need to check our code to see if it's right, and I'm not still connected yet. Okay, I think I'm connected now. And then git push again, and then let's test our code. So it worked, and that will be all. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.